just how I'm feeling. Now I'm feeling feelings exponentially. Convoy started asking questions. Said, ma'am, I was hoping for advice. I'm feeling lots of feelings. Not a single one of them feels nice. She said, do you ever think about dying? Said, no, but sometimes I lie. Do you wanna live? Said yes, but I feel like shit. Now on a scale of 1 to 10, do you feel anxious? On a scale of 1 to 10, do you feel scared? Said I'm feeling lots of feelings. For some reason I cut my hair. God give me this strength today. I offer myself to thee. From this bondage, set me free. Help me see the nature of my wrong. In your grace I will be strong. This old world is full of fear and grief. Love it is the door, faith's the key. From this bondage, set me free. Ooh, Jimmy.
Sean Scolnick.
Let me see. There you go.
Look at you.
Look at you.
How you doing, man?
What does a 15-minute interview look like?
I don't know. Let's try to find out.
How are you, brother?
Doing great, man. How's everything going with you?
It's going well, man. It's going pretty well. Are you still in Nashville?
I am. We're coming you from the Gulch. You know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Are you in your house? I heard about the famous Pink House.
Yes, I am.
From my buddy Adam Chaffins. He said, "Ask him about the Pink House." I'm like, "All right." Gotta shout out to the Pink House.
From the Pink House.
I love it, Sean. But
I mean, come over sometime.
Oh, that would be an honor. Absolutely, Sean. But yeah, man, it's great to see you. I mean, first of all, I have to tell you, it's a great honor to talk with you, Sean, because I mean, your songwriting, as we've gotten into it, dude. What the hell, man? Like, no wonder you're a Nashville institution, man. It just goes straight to your gut. It is the most incredible thing that I've ever experienced, man. Congratulations. Just wonderful stuff, dude.
You know how to flatter a boy.
Well, it's true, man. It's true. And another cool thing is, everyone loves you as a person. Like, just like from being here like 6 months, everyone is like, man, Sean Langhorne Slim, what a guy, what a character, what a person. So when you hear that, all those elements, man, you're just like, great. I got honor to have you on the show. That's the point.
It's my honor. Thank you for the kind words.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Totally. So, Sean, you are more than a singer songwriter. To me, like, you're like a poet. So I guess the question is, do you walk around with like something to write down your thoughts, your random journals, like as you go around town, around the country?
No.
Okay, cool.
I should though.
Do you record them on your phone at all, or
do.
Nothing?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to write stuff down, but I was like, I was in school and it was hard to pay attention. So little stories or poems or something like that would pop into my head or something, and then I would write those down. So I have journals from like when I'm a kid, but for many years I don't write down even a lot of the songs when they're written in my head. They're just I'll record them on the phone, which I wouldn't recommend. I mean, I would recommend because most people are more tech savvy. I've lost a bunch of ideas through not saving them to the cloud.
Oh, really? That's a thing. Sure.
That's a thing. And years ago, if somebody even said that line, I would not believe that was even something in our future, that you would have to save something to something called the cloud.
That's crazy. Because, before, songwriters, there's stories of them losing their lyrics, leaving them in airports or all of that stuff. And
there's also stories of people like losing manuscripts or them blowing out of the car,
Yeah.
And then there was great loss, of course, and heartache and a breakdown. But then that led to the writer's greatest work. So I don't know if any of those stories are true.
Yeah.
But I've tried to recall those stories the couple times over the years that I, if you have one of these types of phones, you pull it out of your pocket sometimes and all the applications are shaking. They're nervous.
Yes.
And there's an X on them.
Yes.
And a couple of times, maybe it was a cosmic, the spirits or something were guiding me to just push that X that would delete the voice memos app.
Yeah.
So let's hope that my best work happened after that happened. But yeah, I've shed tears in a Green Hills Mall parking lot because the Apple wizards told me that there was no way to recall these voice memos.
Man.
But to answer your question, Jamie, what I'll do is maybe if I hear something that somebody says or a line pops out or something, I'll either speak it into the phone or I will jot it down.
Yeah.
What I've realized is through the voice, through the smartphones.
Sure.
I've pulled up, like, from when I was a teenager, early 20s, those professional Walkmen, with a proper cassette.
Oh yeah.
And I'd listen back to sort of demos or whatever you would want to call them on these cassettes. And what I found is that the songs are almost fully formed when I would record them. Whereas now you could just record any little idea that you have, which you might think is going to. So half the time I listen to these things and I have just no idea what the hell I'm getting at.
Oh man, that's great.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, thanks for answering that. That's totally trick. And I can see the Green Hills montage, the suburban mothers, with their froyo in their hands, and like you just lost a song.
I'm just bawling into my froyo, my mocha latte, Capra Grande.
Yeah,
like
your vanilla bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. And of course, we're still celebrating Strawberry Mansion. I forgot to mention, Sean, which is your 7th album, one of the year's best, if in my humble words so far. What an album! From Mighty Soul to the last of, For the Children, the whole thing. But at this point in your career, Sean, when you've played all over the world, you've had, 7 records. How is it? Is it more fun to put an album now, or was it better in the beginning, kind of like when you had nothing to lose, everything to gain? In other words, nobody knew Langhorne Slim. There was no pressure in a way. And now, because you've kicked so much butt,
that's certainly would be an outside of myself's perspective.
Right.
I never felt like I had nothing to lose. I was always trying to prove something to myself. So in my mind, I knew where I wanted to. I had built something up in my mind before anybody heard any song that I wrote or before I hit any stage.
Gotcha.
For better or for worse or none of the above, there was already an image in my mind of what I wanted to do and where I wanted to be. So I think that there were pressures that I put on myself from the first record, and for some fear of sounding perhaps corny, every time I do it, particularly this time, it did feel like a bit of a rebirth. I hadn't written in a long time. It feels new every time. Sometimes the newness is more cathartic or exciting than others, if I'm being honest about it. But I don't know. Maybe it's part of what keeps some people going. There's always something more to prove to yourself, and a feeling of newness and wanting to. I don't know if it's recreate yourself for your creativity. I don't know if I feel like that, but to get back to the essence of it, the newness of it. I think when you're a kid and you're just starting, not even putting out a record, but when I was first writing songs, it was a vast sea of creative possibilities because I hadn't developed any of my own tricks, so to speak.
Right.
So there's a desire now to kind of forget what I've learned and swim in that vast sea once again, if that makes sense.
I love that. So it's almost like every album is like a completely different you. That's what you're saying. Yeah.
I hope so. In a way, I don't know that each one has been that, or that the listener would be able to tell. It probably still sounds like me in the 4.5 chords that I know, but internally or the I don't know. I mean, this record in particular felt like it felt childlike again, in the sense of writing song. It was a pandemic record.
Yeah.
It was written in the first few months of a quarantine. I had just gotten sober again. I was struggling mightily for a while, and that was cutting off my connection to whatever that source is, the spirits, the creative dance floor. and I wasn't really dancing on it. So coming back to home, to Nashville,
Yeah.
tornado, pandemic, getting sober, starting to recognize myself again. Songs started to show up in a similar way, I would say, as when I was a kid, that were just like for the joy of playing the song, less of the inner
Yeah.
critic that was like, is this shit good enough? Because
Yeah.
at that time it was like, and I should carry that. We should all, I think, in my
Yeah.
opinion, carry that on, like good enough for what, if if it's good enough to sit on the couch and play it, and the cat's there, and the cat's seeming to, well, the cat sometimes he likes some of it and doesn't give a shit.
Right.
But it was just trying to keep it simple and to be in a flow of a creative space, as opposed to control it and to wonder how well it would do or what some people would think of it.
Right.
Which of course I'm not immune to these insidious thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
But it through all the nightmarish elements of this pandemic, for me on a deeply personal level, and I know I'm not totally unique in this, it afforded me an opportunity to slow down and to kind of be creative again. I don't know that it's simply, but just for the love of being in that zone.
Yeah. Oh man, I love that. It's super intense. And when you finish, when you like emerge from this zone, Sean, like I'll tell you what, like I'll give you an example. Billy Joel Armstrong of Green Day, he once said that when he finished American Idol, he wept. He wept for a couple of days, because just putting that entire, like what you're saying, that entire energy, emotions into like a body of work. Like, are there times like that you say to yourself, like, God, like how can I do this one more fucking time? Like you just left everything out there.
Yeah. I've had that experience that you're referring to in my own way to some extent. I wish there was more of a grace period after, like this was the most writing that I had ever done. This was like a wave that lasted almost 3 months, where songs were coming almost daily or every other day or something like that. I've never had that that last that long. After making a record that I'm really, that has been a true gift to have been able to make with my friends and to have and to share with whomever wants it. There is then a feeling after that. There's sort of I don't know that blissful would be right, but there was a peaceful feeling that I felt for a little while. And then, almost to my dismay, it's okay, what am I going to do? I need to do something today. When am I going to write the next one? So it is an emotional roller coaster, I think, of the sweet spot for me this time was writing it, and then we were able to record it very quickly after I wrote the songs, which is a beautiful way for me to do it, because it stays in a raw
organic
state.
Yeah, organic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Great.
And then the record came out quickly. It came out, I think, 3 months later or something, 4 months later. Didn't take too much time. And now when I'm sitting talking to you about it, it feels like it's 1,000 years ago, and
Right.
and what's coming next. So
I love it. Sean, you're being so good with your time. Let me ask you a couple more songs. What is your pre-show ritual, Sean? Because you're a road warrior. I mean, before the pandemic, you were in Punta Cana, all this great stuff. But like you're a consummate, like you kick butt on stage. Like, what is like the 30 minutes before you hit the stage look like for you to get into that great state?
Well, it used to be drinking myself silly. Thankfully, it's not that anymore. So it's, I mean, I haven't developed a pre-show ritual really, but I do tend to go off on my own, as I think a lot of singers or the lead person in the band. Not that I really view it that way, but for the sake of making some sense.
Right, right.
I go and get quiet for a while, and then I get quite nervous. I definitely have stage fright.
Sure.
and then on my way back to the venue, or when I walk into the venue, I tend to usually feel at ease and get into whatever the thing is that propels an insane person to get on stage in front of a bunch of people
Yeah.
and demand a lot of attention for a couple hours.
I dig it. I dig it, man. I dig it. And okay, I'll leave you off with this, Sean. We briefly talked about this when we met, but everyone raves about the New Year's Eve parties in Nashville with Langhorne Slim. It's like, I think when the pandemic canceled stuff, people were bummed about that. Not the fireworks, not the traffic, but like there's going to be no Langhorne Slim this year at City Winery. What is it about that night, Sean, that everyone loves, that it's so special, that it's clearly a tradition?
Yeah, it's a tradition. We've done it. I think this would have been the 7th or 8th year. And you used the word organic, so I'll bring it back. I think if people connect to it or like it, it's because it is truly an organic kind of show. It's me and a bunch of my favorite songwriters that are in town or happen to be in town, and favorite friends. And we all come. I host it. I play throughout, but we all play on each other's songs. They have not been rehearsed for hours. And I think people kind of get the vibe of it being like what a party at my place would be, or at your place would be, or who's ever, where people are sitting around and playing songs. So we try to keep that feel and not polish it up too much. And I mean, that's what I love about it. So you'd have to ask people if they're saying nice things about it, but maybe that's a quality to it that they connect to.
I dig it. I dig it. Well, Sean, we kept it to 18 minutes, pretty
I
close.
dig you, Jamie. Yeah, next time we could do 25 minutes.
Oh man, listen, you've said it all, Sean. It's been a pleasure. There's so much I could talk to you. We could go on for hours. So,
well, anytime, brother, anytime. And
thank you so much.
You're living in Nashville now full time, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so now that things are opening up, we'll be seeing each other around, I'm sure.
Absolutely, looking forward to it. Thanks so much, Sean.
Thank you for your time, brother.
Take care, man.
Thank you.